Why do you think the appeal of Fight Club exists? Is it just a good movie, or is it something deeper than that?
Well, I'll tell you, the night of the premiere, I went around with Ross Bell, one of the producers, and we went to theaters. And we started with a theater in Santa Monica, then we went to Westwood, then we went to the Cinerama Dome, just to see how people were reacting and everything. The first place we went, Santa Monica, we were actually watching the first part of the movie, and then we decided, let's go to the next place. But we came out, and another theater had Fight Club in it, and it was letting out. So people had seen it.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I hear, two women, very normal looking in their 50s, you know, not hipsters or anything, saying it's one of the best things they've ever seen. That's the first reaction I saw. Now, we thought this is something that appeals to especially young men.
Mm-hmm.
And it's generational, and it's about this lost generation. So that was the first reaction I saw.
Not a bad first reaction.
Right, but not from who I expected. And that has continued throughout the years. Cut to a few years ago, I'm at the Austin Film Festival, and I'm doing panels. One of the events is screenwriters sit at tables, and small groups, 5, 6, 7 people come and sit down at each table so they can have an intimate conversation with the screenwriter. And then those people get up and move to a different table and sort of like thing. So at one point, a group sits down, and there's a woman and her 14-year-old son. And she says, is it okay if he sits here with me when we talk? Because Fight Club is both of our favorite movies. And I'm like, and he was born the year it came out, or around there, right? So it appeals on such a demographic that I don't know how to explain it. I don't really know. I would understand it hitting young men, right? But everyone else I don't have an answer for, really.
It is a fantastic film, and I meet so many people, and there's several of them in this room who when I told them you were coming on, everybody was excited. And one of my good friends, who's also a filmmaker, Dylan Avery, who's been on here, he's like, oh, please tell him I really love the film. It affected so many people. And I read a quote where Edward Norton was saying that he thought it was a generational film or generational statement. But when I look at it, it's more about what you're talking about, because a generation to me connotes a group of people born during a particular point in time.
Right.
But to me, the film resonates with a lot of different types of people at a particular time, if that difference makes sense.
Right, right. Yeah, exactly.
I know that I'm a baby boomer, so I'm not sure if I'm the generation that he was talking about that film initially appealing to, but it certainly resonated with me. And my daughter, who's 13, is studying film, and like there's a little kid in one of her classes, and like he talks about, oh my God, Fight Club's my favorite film. Yes, it is across board.
Right. So we did think it's a generational statement. I first read the book. It was a manuscript. It was a publisher had it, but they hadn't published it. They didn't, on the shelves yet.
It was a galley or?
Galley. And a friend in the business sent it over and said, read this and track it and see if it ever gets set up anywhere, because you got to try to get the adaptation job. And I read the book, and I was just stunned. Things went through my mind like Clockwork Orange.
Yes. Very good analogy. I can see that.
And I thought, it would be fun to be paid to write this, but it'll never be made. But that's all right. I just want to get the writing gig because it'll be fun to be paid to write it. Never, never, ever thought there's any possibility of it getting made. That was initially. Then when it started to come together, where David Fincher was on board, then it was like, oh, wow, this could really happen.
Absolutely.
And it got better and better and more likely, and finally it actually did happen.